Okay, I see that in fact our contributions are going on. At first it was legal English and different problems, translation from English into Portuguese and even Russian. Then it was a terminology from criminal field, and now I would like to continue. Maybe something will be strange for you, but this theme was invented for my students, and especially Christiane Nord, when she was in Banská Bystrica, she was pleased with this theme. So we tried to study how to translate terminology in detective stories. For today, the main task of our contribution is to point out the problems of translation terminology in the work of Tales of Unease by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I'm sure that you know, all of you know who is Doyle, but some basic information analysis based on the translation of the English original, where the source, the text, is one story from the work Tales of Unease, and its Slovak translation, Diabolská izba. It was published by Europa Publishing House in Bratislava in 2013. For our analysis, we have chosen one short story. Of course, the book is very long, but for this presentation, it's only one story. The New Catacomb. It was published in 1898. The basic document for searching terminology is an international standard, ISO 704. Maybe some of you don't know what does it mean, this standard, but there is typical standard for terminology and it's valid, and the European Union is using this standard. And in fact, all terminologists are using this basic document. In this paper, we would like to pursue how the translator tackle and solve the problems connected with translation of terminology in such type of text. Also, we try to find a reply for the question how to translate terminology in fiction or detective stories. We try to find a solution for the problem connected with the different possibilities of using the translation theory in translation of terms in non-scientific text. Because I'm sure that all of you know that when we are translating scientific text, there are strict rules, and we are replacing term for term, and no invention, no new words. No, basic information about the author. The author, with his full name Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle, was born on May 22 in 1857 in Edinburgh, Scotland, to Catholic Irish family. As 9 years old, he was sent to Jesuit preparatory school, Hodder Place. He studied for 7 years at the Stonehill College. His medical career was not very successful, but he was a successful writer. He studied medicine at Edinburgh University and became a doctor. For a short time, he started his medical practice in Plymouth. Later, he started his own business in the South Sea. The year 1887 was the year of publishing his first novel, where famous Sherlock Holmes was born, and his last book, The Edge of the Unknown, had appeared only a week earlier before he died of heart attack on the 7th of July in 1930. He is buried in Crowborough, so it was only the basic information about the author. And now I would like to tell you a few words about our story, and about our analyzed story. So, the Tales of Unease. In this twilight excursion, the vivid imagination for the strange, the grotesque, and the frightening is given full rein. In the tales, we move from a mysterious of Egypt or those of the Arctic. So really, these stories are not very usual for this author, because they are full of mysteries and they are full of even revenge. Doyle's fiction covers wide range than the fiction of other writers of the 19th century. The author wrote everything from the stories, domestic dramas, historical romances, scientific fiction, poetry, plays, medical tales, and crime fiction. Tales of Unease is a collection of consistent or ghostly and sporky stories which reflects his with wide imagination and generally reflects. Conan Doyle was a big fan of tales of revenge, adventure stories, penetrating motives, and of exploration of the unknown. This collection of books consists of the following short stories, written in a different period of Doyle's life, as presented in the order: The Ring of Thoth, The Lord of Chateauneuf, The New Catacomb, The Case of Lady Shannon, The Brazilian Cat, The Brown Hat, The Horror of Heights, The Terror of Blue John Gap, The Captain of Forrester, How Did It Happen, Playing with Fire, The Leather Funnel, Lot numbers 2, 4, 9, The Los Amigos Fiascos, and The Nightmare Room. Short stories are full of love, jealousy, revenge, money, horror, science fiction, exploring new worlds, real justice, and feeling. For our contribution, we have chosen directed the story named The New Catacomb. This story is full of emotions, adventures, and revenge. Slovak translation Diabolská izba. Slovak translation with the title Diabolská izba was published in 2013 by Europe Publishing House in Bratislava. The Slovak translation was made by my colleague Martin Diovčoš and a friend Barbara Kráľová. They work in a deeper cooperation, but each of them translated independent stories. Barbara Kráľová translated Brazílska mačka, Čo sa vlastne stalo, Diabolská izba, Kožený lievik, Lady Sanaxová, číslo 249 a Kapitán Polárky. Martin Diovčoš translated story Fiasko v Los Amigos, Hnedá ruka, Hra s ohňom, Nové katakomby, Strach z výšok, Sotov prsteň a Záhada modrohorskej diery. The New Catacomb. The story is about two young men. Both of them are archaeologists. One is a poor German burgher, very talented, who discovered old catacomb in Roma. The second one is very handsome and rich English archaeologist Kennedy. Berger promised to show him the new catacomb for the exchange of a secret in private relation to one girlfriend. Kennedy's relationship with the girlfriend was not the serious one, and he would only like to have another new, not very serious love affair. The girlfriend had to return with shame to her parents. Berger wanted to find out about his love story. He took Kennedy to the center of catacomb, switched off the light, and left him there where he had no chance to return back. Kennedy died in the catacombs. Before he let him die there, Berger had explained to him that the poor girl was his beloved fiancée. This was the act of revenge. Kennedy is left to face his fate, trapped in the dark, left to die within the depths in the never-ending labyrinth in the new catacomb. And then we make an analysis of this story, and we try to find how the terms were translated from English into Slovak. Maybe the first step, of course, was to find out the terms, what is term, or what kind of terms are in this story. So we find there are some terms from archaeology, architecture, botany, clothing, geography, geology, media, musicology, physics, technology, and theology. I was speaking with a translator, Martin Diovčoš. I think that a lot of you know him, and how he was translating all these terms. Of course, he had to consult with the experts. because it's not easy to find, for example, especially in these catacombs. So from terms from archaeology, you have to consult or special dictionaries and, of course, specialists. In these stories, the new catacombs, we analyze 71 terms and their translation into the Slovak language. The text in English and Slovan contain terms from the mentioned scientific field. The translator was solving the problems of finding appropriate equivalents in different fields of science. Of course, in the pure scientific text, the task is a little bit different. In a specific scientific field, we are looking for a correspondent scientific field and looking for a correspondent term. In detective story, we can use more neutral expression, and the sense in the context will be not disturbed. The terms from archaeology are represented by 11 examples. 5 of them are amphora, translate amphora. Early Christian remain, ranokresťanská pamiatka. Funeral vessels, pohrebná komora. Old Rome, staroveký Rím. Roman remains, rímska pamiatka, and so on. Terminology from architecture are represented by 25 terms, such as adequate, aqueduct, bastion of Cecilia Metella, kruhová väža Cecílie Metely, Christian altar, kresťanský oltár, labyrinth, labyrinth, rabbit, bludisko, square chamber, štvorcová sieň. The terminology from geography, from geography represented by 20 examples, gate of Appian Way, Apínská brána, temple of Vestals, chrám Vestálok, castle of St. Angelo, Anielský hrad, baths of Karakala, Karakalové kúpele. There are terms from theology, represented by 8 examples such as Mitra, highest Christian, cirkevný hodnostár, Pope, pápež, relikvia, Pious hand, duchovenstvo, vestment, rucho. The most frequent occurrence has the term catacomb, of course. Of course, there are only some examples how we can solve the problem of translation terminology in detective stories. I have such an experience that is a very good theme for our students, and we are analyzing detective stories from, for example, from Agatha Christie and different authors. That's all from my side. Thank you for your attention.